Hello, my dear curious and studious students of surgery. Myself, Dr. Mahesh Chaudhary. I am warm welcoming you in my surgery lecture series. This surgery lecture series contains entire surgery with anesthesia, with radiology, with orthopedic. So stay tuned with us. Let's start our surgery lecture series. Welcome, dear students, in my surgery lecture number 25, that is the peritoneum and the peritonitis. In this lecture, we will learn the peritoneum, anatomy and physiology, the nerve supply of the peritoneum, peritonitis, natural factors which prevent general peritonitis, factors of diffuse peritonitis, diffuse or generalized peritonitis, operative management of the peritonitis or various conditions, and pelvic abscesses. All points are covered in this lecture. First, we will see the peritoneum. The peritoneal cavity is a potential space containing the abdominal viscera. The peritoneum provides a frictionless surface over which the abdominal viscera can freely move, and the mesothelial lining secretes fluids that serve to lubricate the peritoneal surfaces. The peritoneum covers the inner side of the parietes, which is known as the parietal peritoneum. Peritoneum also covers the outer surface of the abdominal viscera, which is known as visceral peritoneum. Between these two layers lies the potential spaces, which is known as the peritoneal cavity. Normally, there is about 100 ml of clear straw colored fluid in the adult, and the quality and the quantity of this fluid may change with various pathological conditions. Also covers the outer surface of the abdominal viscera. Visceral peritoneum covers whole the abdomen, including the pelvic cavity. Peritoneal cavity divided into two groups: the greater sac, the lesser sacs lies behind the stomach, and the lesser omentum. Now the physiology of the peritoneum. Peritoneum has a great ability of peritoneum to absorb the substances like fluid, electrolytes and the blood. Absorption occurs primarily through penetration of lymphatic channels on the undersurface of the diaphragm. Peritoneum acts as a semi-permeable membrane and permits transport of the water, electrolytes and peptides in both directions according to the osmotic concentration. It must be remembered that peritoneal cavity is a completely closed sac except the end of the fallopian tubes in females. Surface area of the peritoneum is about square 2 meters, which is approximately identical to the area of the skin. Absorption from peritoneal cavity is less than or equal to 10 millimeter. May bacteria and blood elements and proteins. The bidirectional transfer property of the peritoneum is used in peritoneal dialysis. A variety of drugs can be removed from peritoneal dialysis. The peritoneum heals very rapidly following injury. If normal peritoneum healing is delayed or incomplete, the adhesions is formed. The adhesions may be transient, eventually resolving as delayed healing becoming complete, and they may be permanent in nature. Fibrins elaborated from the inflammatory peritoneal mesothelium, which adhesions are built. In this way, the adhesions and the bands are formed. Formation of adhesions is a protective response helping to localize the peritoneal insult, and it also an adaptive healing response brings additional blood supply to injured areas of the peritoneum. Now the nerve supply of the peritoneum. The parietal peritoneum is innervated by the both somatic of visceral afferent nerves, and so it is quite sensitive, same as the skin. Anterior parietal peritoneum mostly sensitive, while pelvic peritoneum is least sensitive. Anterior parietal peritoneum leads to protective voluntary muscular guarding, and later on to reflex muscular spasm. The signs which are indicative of such insult. Perceptions of pain is indicated as a localized tenderness and rebound tenderness. Now, the pathology of this peritoneum is peritonitis. Peritonitis is the inflammation of the peritoneum, either a portion or all of the partial and visceral surfaces of the peritoneal cavity. May be either septic or aseptic, bacterial or viral, primary or secondary, acute or chronic. All these are the types of the peritonitis. Routes of bacterial invasion. Direct invasions either due to penetrating injury of abdomen, or due to perforation of GI tract, or due to insertion of foreign body, drain, dialysis tube, etc. Second, local extension from a neighborhood inflamed organs that like cholecystitis may develop peritonitis, generalized peritonitis, through appendicitis may develop generalized peritonitis, etc. Migration through the devitalized gut walls and strangulated hernia, that is the strangulated hernia, via the fallopian tube. Through bloodstream roots, these are the roots of the bacterial invasions in the peritoneum. Third is the through bloodstream, that is the general septicemia. Dear students, you can watch the image on your screen is showing clearly the parietal peritoneum, the general peritoneum, greater omentum, the lesser sac, visceral peritoneum, mesocolon, small bowels, mesenteric, Douglas pouch, mesosigmoid colon, and this is the better image you can watch on your screen showing the peritoneal viscera. Now the natural factors which prevent the general peritonitis. First, various compartment of the peritoneal cavity. First we will see peritoneum is the main, and there is the two sacs, lesser sac and greater sac. Greater sac contains the abdominal cavity and a pelvic cavity. Again, abdominal cavity has two parts, supracolic involved, that is due to the perforation peptic ulcer, and second is infracolic compartment by transverse colon and mesocolon. Dear students, here is a new image showing the general peritonitis, accumulation of the gas under the diaphragm. You can see bowel rupture, onset of the peritoneum, peritonitis and bowel contents. This is the another picture of the inflammation of the peritoneum, that is the peritonitis. Second natural factors of peritonitis is the adhesions usually form around the affected organs or flakes of fibrin. Greater omentum also envelops the inflamed organ or area of localized the peritonitis. Post-operatively, drains also helps to drain the pus and also avoid to spread. Now the next point is factors of diffuse peritonitis. Ingestion of food, water stimulates peristaltic activity, administration of purgative and enema. B. A hollow viscous suddenly perforates without giving an opportunity to the nature to localize the peritonitis. When virulence of the organism is so great that localization becomes impossible. Due to small omentum, localization is less in the children. Rough handling, no tissue respect when the patient is on steroid and deficiency of immune mechanism like AIDS. Now the clinical features of the diffuse peritonitis, localized peritonitis, complaint of pain at or near the causative lesions, localized tenderness. When local peritoneum involved, there will be guarding and rigidity of the abdominal wall, increase of TPR, temperature, pulse and respiration. Now the next point is diffuse or generalized peritonitis. Condition conveniently described under three stages. First stage, peritonism, second stage of reaction, and third stage of diffuse peritonitis. First stage, peritonism, that is the irritation of the peritoneum due to perforation of or inflamed viscous. Pain is severe or worse by breathing and movement. Tenderness, muscle guard are constantly present. Second stage of reaction, irritant fluid becomes diluted with the peritoneal exudates. Fire is still burning under the ashes. Patient feels comfortable due to the dissolving of the acids due to the secretions of fluids in the peritoneal cavity. Patient feels comfortable. Muscle rigidity continues to be present. Paralytic ileus state sets in with silent abdominal on auscultation. X-ray state will reveal gas under diaphragm. Third stage, the stage of diffuse peritonitis. Patient has gone a step further towards the grave. The pinch and the anxious face, shrunken eyes and hollow cheeks called facies hippocratica. Pulse rates rises and low in volume. Persistent vomiting, board-like rigidity. Patient finally collapse into the unconscious stage. Dear students, here is a good picture of the diffuse peritonitis. You can watch. Now the investigations. Serum amylase may raise level, increase leukocytes count. Examination of peritoneal aspirate is not always necessary. Straight X-ray of the abdomen demonstrate free gas under the diaphragm if there is a visceral puncture or perforation. Now management includes both therapeutic and diagnostic. Therapeutic efforts directed to resuscitate the patient, where diagnostic efforts to find out the exact cause of peritonitis. Now conservative treatment. Pre-operative preparation, fluid resuscitation and correction of electrolyte imbalance, nasogastric intubation for decompression and aspiration, antibiotics effective against E. coli and ventilatory support. Now operative management, if there is appendicitis, appendicectomy should be performed. Cholecystitis, then cholecystectomy should be performed, and if there is a perforation, sealing should be done. Peritoneal toileting and drainage is the common for all operations. Post-operative care. Complications, paralytic ileus, intestinal obstruction due to peritoneal adhesions, residual abscesses. Two places are quite common, pelvic abscess and subphrenic abscesses. First, pelvic abscess due to the rupture of the appendix, infected fallopian tube, ruptured colonic diverticulum and other pelvic inflammatory diseases. Dear students, you can see the image on your screen, that is the colpotomy drainage of pelvic abscess procedure in male patient. The abscess is present in the between the bladder and the rectum, and in females there is a pouch of Douglas and between the uterus and the rectum. This is the good image of the CT scan showing the pelvic abscess. This is the image of the on the ultrasound showing the pelvic abscess. This is the laparoscopic picture of the pelvic abscess clearly seen on this image. This is the MRI image showing the pelvic abscess. Now the clinical features: pus may accumulate in the pelvic cavity with serious constitutional disturbances, dull and lower abdominal pain, irritation of urinary bladder, rectum producing urgency and frequency or diarrhea. Examination: pelvic abscess can be palpated directly by the rectal or vaginal examination. Bulges as a tender mass into the anterior rectal wall. If left untreated, pelvic abscess may finally rupture into the rectum and also develop the fistula. Treatment: as abscess anywhere in the body, the pus should be drained. This is the common principle for all pus, all types of the pus. Incision either through the rectum in the males, that is very convenient, and through the vagina in the females, that is the most convenient. Dear students, you can watch some good videos on the YouTube regarding this, clear the concepts. Here is the end of our surgery lecture number 25. Thank you.